Okay, I'm back, everyone. As I said before, this is actually a completely different session. You might even notice in between the battles, the continue count may be different. I really didn't keep track if it was the same or not, but basically I had to rebattle all the way back up to this point to get to where I had last left off. Yeah. This is the last 4 battles of PokeCup Master Ball difficulty. And as I explained before, I did actually figure out that the dust was a main contributor to the black screen issues that I've been having. That's what's been really holding me up lately. I don't even know why I'm really repeating the same stuff as it is, because I pretty much said that in part 1. So in part 2, last 4 battles. This trainer for Battle 5, Teacher Molly, is her name. She can be a little tricky, unless she picks certain Pokemon. Mr. Mime or Giraffe Rig is usually one of the 2 that she'll lead with. It's usually one of those 2. And she almost always uses both of them as well. Partly because of the levels of the Pokemon on her team. Also, she'll have either a Politoed or a Lapras, almost always, because they are level 53 for each of them. Both are actually pretty tough, not only because of their high stats, but they have really good moves. As a matter of fact, the one I face is the Politoed. Lapras is probably the tougher of the 2, in my opinion. If you do face the Lapras, though, keep in mind that it doesn't have any water moves. Politoed does, it does use Surf. But Lapras has Ice Beam, Rest, Snore, and Body Slam. And as you've seen, Politoed also has Body Slam, which can paralyze you, and it almost always will on the first turn. Again, with the rubber band AI concept of the computers. I'm not surprised by that, actually, since it does seem like that is the case. You do definitely need a bit of luck on your side for some of these battles. There's no question about that. And that's kind of what happened for me here. But if you're facing the Politoed, in addition to Body Slam, it knows Surf, which I mentioned, Ice Punch, and Earthquake. So, I do have Zapdos for this battle, which may or may not have been a mistake. In this case, though, it worked out for me, because they were hitting one turn. Politoed could hit it with Ice Punch, though. And Lapras doesn't have Ice Beam, so if you do use Zapdos, that's a little setback you gotta worry about. The main reason I picked Zapdos, though, is because a lot of Pokemon know either Dig or Earthquake, so that way Zapdos could get hit by a ground move. So Politoed's Earthquake would have missed, just because Zapdos is part flying. And then you have the Giraffe Rig, which really, its only actual attack is actually Psybeam. So it's not that big of a deal, but once it starts using Double Team, that's when it could be a bit of a problem. Again, you do need a little bit of luck here, which happened to be in my favor for this battle. If you can manage, also get a Pokemon that knows Swift, I would suggest. Or even, like, use some dark moves, like Crunch or Bite. Even Bite, if anything. It's better than nothing. Other than that, though, that's Molly. For Battle 5, I'd say this is the Master Ball, so I guess it makes sense that they should be tough at this point. As I said before, though, this can definitely be one of the more challenging cups. As a matter of fact, I would say it is the most challenging cup, even harder than Prime Cup. A lot of people say Prime Cup is difficult, but in my opinion, this is worse in terms of difficulty. Because in addition to having really good moves, they have like varied teams. Like, they don't just have a full team of normal Pokemon. They have grass, water, just a mix of different types to really catch you off guard. And here we have Battle 6 with Sage Chen. there's really not much to say for this one. This is actually probably the easiest of the last 4 battles, in my opinion. And that's because a lot of them don't really have, like, threatening moves, I guess you could say. He mainly relies on the strategy of confusing you, as well as mean look. All of them actually do know mean look. But they'll also use, like, moves that will confuse you, such as Confuse Ray. Pretty much all of them have some kind of move like that. With the exception of the Murkrow, I don't believe Murkrow has any status moves. But he almost always leads with Umbreon for this battle. This is from my own personal experience of playing this game. Every time I've ever started this one, he always starts with the Umbreon. So it's a good idea to go ahead and just use a fighting Pokemon as your first pick. And he usually does not switch. And I actually did pick Primeape for good reason, because in addition to Cross Chop, which is probably one of the better fighting moves that I could recommend, it's also good to have Dig or even Earthquake if your fighting Pokemon can learn that. So if you like have your own Machamp, let's say, that'd be good to have as well if you made those moves. Like if you're raising your own Pokemon. And something else I could probably bring up too here is Umbreon's only attack that actually does damage to you is Bite. Everything else it has Mean Look, Confuse Ray, and it also knows Screech. Screech is kind of pointless though, for Umbreon at least, because it doesn't have any physical moves. So it's kind of pointless why it even knows that. I'm surprised it doesn't know, like, Shadow Ball in addition to Bite, or something of that sort. But that's how some of these Pokemon are sometimes. So, in a way, Battle 6 is kind of giving you a break. I will go ahead and say, though, all 6 of them, even the Murkrow, in a sense, they look intimidating, but they're not really that bad. I'll just put it that way. And even though I did mess up here a few times because of luck not going in my favor with the confusion, even if you do end up attacking yourself a lot, such as what I'm doing now, it's not that big of a concern. I don't think it would really... it didn't worry me when I was doing this battle, so... And as I was going through it, the confusion eventually shakes off too, so... And then if you keep missing, I mean, Umbreon doesn't have high attack and special attack as well. It's just more of a defensive Pokemon. I do like that trade-off though, like, for my own personal taste. I give it more than just Bite though, if I was the trainer. Confuse Ray makes sense, but I think I'd have, instead of Bite, I probably would have had Feint Attack instead. I'm assuming it learned Bite because it was still an Eevee at the time. That's all I can figure, because I don't think Umbreon can learn Bite naturally. Unless you have an Eevee with that move. So yeah. But in addition to that, I'd probably teach it. It can learn Psychic. I do know that. That's a good sneak attack to have against a fighting type Pokemon. Is when the Dark type knows a Psychic move. That's a pretty good way to catch them off guard. And for fourth move, I'd have to think about it a bit, but if it was second generation, either Shadow Ball or Moonlight, depending on the situation I run into. Probably Moonlight, just so I can annoy the opponent by restoring my HP when I already have high HP and defenses. That's a good way to annoy them, and to keep things going, too. So Moonlight wouldn't be bad to have. And, yeah, that'd probably be it for my ideal Umbreon, at least. In the newer generations, though, I do try to structure. I probably would keep the Psychic as a way to catch the opponent off guard.
Here it comes! Thunder!
But later on, all the evolutions can learn Last Resort, which isn't too bad to have. It's just as the move implies, Last Resort. You can only use it when you use each of your other moves first before using it. Anyway, back to this battle here. Yeah, I fought the Murkrow there. I just switched to Zapdos so I could take it out quicker with the Thunder attack. And then the Gengar, just like all previous Pokemon, they usually lead with Mean Look as their first move. Thunder should be okay against Gengar. I mean, that's what I ended up doing, even though I missed the first time. You can just keep trying again. And the Confuse Ray, it does know that as well. And I guess I could also bring up, he also has a Misdreavus in addition to Gengar. He'll usually use one or the other. The Misdreavus does know Perish Song, so what it'll try to do is use Mean Look followed by Perish Song. So, you might want to keep in mind with what Pokemon you're using to fight the Misdreavus before you get stuck in the battle with Mean Look. And the Gengar also has Mean Look, but it has Confuse Ray, Destiny Bond, and Nightshade as its moves. So again, Gengar has a very intimidating look, because it is a really tough Pokemon normally, but these were the moves that was given to it for this particular battle, so it's not as bad as what it would seem. And I at least got to hit it with one Thunder, and that's no big deal that I fainted, because I still have Kadabra and Primeape for that matter. If I was stuck with Primeape, I'd have to use Dig though, at least to be super effective, because it is a ground type move against... It's not just Ghost, the Gengar is not just Ghost, but it's also Poison as well, so that's why Dig would be super effective to it. Now in later generations though, you just gotta remember that they do know Levitate, so that's not going to work in later games. So of course they would give it a good ability to enhance its defenses. So you'll have to resort to Psychic primarily, as well as Ghost. Or Dark. Dark would work good too. So yeah, those are some good moves I'd recommend for the game. And then you can also use a ground move, because in second generation, abilities didn't exist yet. And that's about it for Sage Chen. He also had a Crobat and a Jinx. The Jinx, I would say, is more difficult if he does end up using it, because it does know Blizzard in addition to Mean Look. And I think the Jinx also has Perish Song as well, if I'm not mistaken. So just keep that in mind. Okay, that just leaves us with 2 battles yet. Battle 7 against this Pokefan, Baxter, and his Pikachu cosplaying child. Yeah, no comment. I really don't have much to say about the kid cosplayer. I think it's funny, but yeah, I'm not saying I have anything against cosplayers. I just think that's I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but just interesting that the dad is letting his kid already cosplay. Wish my parents would do that. As a kid, at least. Well, they probably would have. It's just they wouldn't call it cosplay. I don't know. Yeah, I'm rambling on. I'm going into different things. But my point is, though, whenever you cosplay, you usually go out to, like, some kind of convention. So, yeah, that's what's up with that. I really want to go to something like that, too. Like, Otakon or something. That'd be really cool if I could go to one of those. But back to this battle, I should explain a couple things about this guy here. He does have all 3 starters, and he could potentially use all 3 of them if he really wanted to. because the levels of the three of them would add up to a maximum of 155. So he could use all three if he really wanted to. He doesn't usually, though. He usually just uses 2 of the 3. And there really is no, like, single way to prepare for this battle. You do have to be a bit lucky. But I do find that using Charizard, regardless of what he has, is a good idea to have here. And even if he pulls out, like, let's say the Hitmontop, at least Charizard has Wing Attack, so you can use that. But Fire Punch should be your friend here. And Solar Beam, used by Meganium, is not going to do hardly anything, because of the dual type advantage on my end, Fire and Flying. But yeah, Charizard, you definitely want to, if you're going to use the team that I have, definitely keep Charizard in this battle. And you will have to probably switch to match the opponent that you're facing. If you're facing a normal type, I don't recommend switching, so if you're facing either the Gramble or the Blissey, in this case I was fighting the Gramble, I don't recommend switching, because you can probably take it out before it takes you out. The key word is probably. Or wait, did I say I do recommend switching, or I don't recommend? Well, let me put it this way. I actually did end up switching. I ended up switching to Primate because of the type weakness. Fighting against normal is super effective. Whether or not you switch, it's really discretionary on your end.
Oh, it's Primate!
Just keep in mind when you do switch, though, you could take damage as soon as you switch it out. So, like right there, Primate got hit pretty badly. And then keep in mind, even with cross chop, it's a strong move. It will definitely take out Gramble quick. But it's only 80% accurate, so you could miss. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. But I didn't, so as I said before, you do need just a bit of luck. It's also a good idea that if you had some continues from the earlier battles. I was being a little bit risky with some of these, though. Pretty much no continues, because when I redid this, I wasn't getting lucky with keeping all my team members alive. And he'll usually have, this is from what I'm aware of at least, he usually has 2 of the 3 starter Pokemon, so in this case he had the Meganium and the Typhlosion. Meganium's pretty standard. It does know Iron Tail in addition to Solar Beam. It also has Body Slam and Sunny Day, if I'm not mistaken. And the Typhlosion will usually use Flamethrower against you, but it also knows Dig, Swift, and Dynamic Punch. I have seen it use all those moves before. And if you fight the Feraligatr, well, obviously it has a water move. I think it has Surf. I can't remember what the Feraligatr has. I think it is Surf. If it's not Surf, it's probably like Hydro Pump or something strong. I'm thinking it is Surf, though. But I do know it also has Earthquake, so just be careful of that if you're going to use Electric Pokemon against it. That's why Zapdos would even be a good idea for a battle like that. But I didn't end up using Zapdos for this battle, and it was kind of lucky that I didn't, because he didn't even use the Feraligatr. So again, you gotta be a bit lucky here, and as you've seen, I just managed to hang in there. And I was able to take out Typhlosion first before it took out Charizard. Again, this is one of the more... This particular battle here, you could potentially lose on this battle, just because of luck factor with which opponents he'll choose, as opposed to the Pokemon that you pick. So I just barely beat that. Kind of proud of myself that I did manage to pull that off, I will say that. It can be done, though, as I have just proven. And after all of that drama, we're now down to the final battle. Pokemaniac Pedro. And take a look at that great team of his. Even he has a Charizard. And if you look closely, you'll see that both the Dragonite and the Tyranitar that he owns are at level 55 each. So yeah, that pretty much tells you he'll use one or the other. And it's another 50-50 scenario here, with which one he'll pick. In my opinion, his Dragonite is a smidge tougher just because it knows Thunder. But the Tyranitar is also not much better because it knows Crunch, Rock Slide, Frustration, and Iron Tail. But the Dragonite does know Outrage, Waterfall, Return, and Thunder. So watch out for that. And again, this is just another situation where you gotta be lucky with the choices that you pick. So I started with Zapdos, he led with Aerodactyl. Regardless of what Pokemon you pick, unless you pick Electrode, pretty much any Pokemon you face Aerodactyl with will almost always go second. I only used Detect to figure out what rock move it had, and I was pretty sure it had Ancient Power, but I just wanted to make sure. So yeah, Ancient Power is super effective against Zapdos, but it's not powerful enough to knock Zapdos out just completely. One Thunder is enough to take out Aerodactyl though. So hopefully that Thunder does kick in for you. And if you didn't select Zapdos, I guess I can say this now, you do need a good electric Pokemon for this cup. So with that in mind, if you don't pick the Zapdos, at least go with like Electrode or even Raichu. One of those two is probably good. As a matter of fact, Nintendo Power even suggests that you use Raichu. Because Raichu does have decent defense at least. And yeah, he used Tyranitar for this battle. And I should point out that the Tyranitar does have a Quick Claw, which did not kick in as you just witnessed, so I did get one Thunder move in on it. And that was good for me. I'm glad that worked out for my advantage there. The good news with the Tyranitar is it does have a fair amount of weaknesses. So water, it's not weak to electric, but Thunder did decent to it. And as you've seen, Hydro Pump took it out completely. So I was actually glad that he did use the Tyranitar here. For this team, as you've seen, I used the Zapdos, and I also have Blastoise, and my last Pokemon I selected was Kadabra. And the only reason I really picked the Kadabra, in addition to Thunder Punch, which is good against some of these opponents, it also has the all-powerful Psychic. And that's good to have in case Machamp would happen to come out. And also part of the reason why I chose the Zapdos is because a lot of these Pokemon have like a ground move of some sort, such as Earthquake or Dig. Not all of them, but a few of them do. So that's good to have that advantage of not being hit by a ground move. Because as pretty much everyone knows, Earthquake is almighty powerful. But anyway, yeah, I used the Blastoise here. I tried to use Mud Slap a couple times so that I could at least lower its accuracy, because Hydro Pump was not going to do hardly anything to it as it was. Hydro Pump will probably only do like 20 HP damage, if that, just because it's water and dragon. But, oh, I did forget to point out there, what you just seen there, the first time I used Mud Slap, it didn't show that the accuracy got lost. I don't know if that actually was a glitch or what, but that was really odd that that happened. And if you missed what I said, just back up the video about 30 seconds and you'll see what I was talking about. But yeah, when I first, maybe a little longer than 30 seconds, but yeah. But back it up and you'll see that the first time I used Mud Slap, it didn't show its accuracy going down. If anybody knows what was up with that, please let me know. But here was a nice bit of luck for me here. Kadabra's scope lens kicked in, and I took out Kingdra in just one hit with Psychic. Probably would have taken 2 normally, as was expected, I would say. But I think Kadabra could survive at least 1 Dragon Breath or a Surf, because I believe the Kingdra does know Surf too. But with that out of the way, I beat Pokecup Master Ball, and I was just so thrilled that I got through this without much difficulty. This is actually my retry of it, but I'm just glad it didn't take me forever to redo this cup. The only reason it did take me a while to upload was because of computer issues, but that's besides the point. But yeah, my team did really good here, I gotta say. And there's our trophy. I'm going to say quick because the video is about to end. Next time I actually am going to do the Prime Cup itself instead of a side feature, so you have that to look forward to. But that's it. We completed Pokecup Master Ball. This is Pokemon Stadium 2, ToadinWonderland signing off. See you guys later.